You cannot ban a Twitch staff member. Don't worry, Mark. I'm just helping you guys stress test to make sure no bugs leak through these updates. You're still good to go. All right, guys. It's game number 1 in a brand new best of 3, but this is the elimination series. One of these players will have their tournament life come to an end. Spawning here in the lower left, we have the red Terran. It's none other than Soul.
His opponent to the upper right-hand side is our blue Zerg player, Team Liquid's TLO.
Now, I don't know if TLO was keeping an eye on that series, but maybe it was Bly or maybe it was the All-Ins, but Soul looked pretty shaky. Not the guy we've seen who I was hoping to be the Terran hope of the group.
Yeah, I thought Soul was going to do a lot better against Bly, but I mean, Bly's one of those players where, you know, again, first game you can kind of see that Soul definitely made a few mistakes, and then sometimes you just get hit by that all-in game 3 and you don't quite hold on to the first bunker, and everything suddenly starts going wrong, and it's very difficult to, you know, save yourself in that sort of position.
By the way, I know we gave Mark some love there for that reset, but we had missed I Would Prefer Not To earlier for the 27 months, and Lumentis for coming back for 3. Thank you guys both so much. I've been just juggling things, but now that the brackets are moving a little more smoothly, we'll be better at keeping up with the stuff, and thank you guys as well. Also, about a quarter of our way to our bit goal for the day, so that'll be awesome. We actually managed to fill that yesterday for the cast, which was also cool considering that doesn't happen too often. So if you haven't yet considered taking advantage of that bit deal that they're offering Prime users, you can get 500 bits for $1. This is a huge savings because normally you get 500 bits for like $6 or $7. So if you guys are willing to spend $1 to send me and Wardy some happiness and love,
we will
spruce up our miserable lives.
We would be so happy.
Don't make us feel like this dead SCV. Make us feel like these very live Zerglings.
Make us feel like Zerglings.
One bit equals one balanced complaint available in chat. Alright, this works pretty well though. The problem with not having a Reaper obviously is kiting and chasing, not as fun, not as easy to do. But also more importantly, this is a big struggle. These Lings are getting another SCV. TLO, I love that he splits. If he had sent 4 Lings in the main, maybe he would have picked up another SCV or 2, but he wouldn't have been able to delay the command center further. And oh my god, this is so sick out of Soul at the same time though. So TLO doing a lot of really cool moves with a little bit of detail, but he also, through doing this, scouts that Soul goes for a very quick 3rd CC. And let me tell you, ladies and gentlemen, while we talk about Bly doing all-ins, this is like the big flag for TLO saying, go for it. Because a Terran player going for a 3rd CC this early and having their natural, especially delayed as long as this was, oh, this leaves him vulnerable to say the least.
This is like game 1 of Bly against Soul. Everything just goes wrong for Soul in the super early stages, and suddenly he's skipping Hellions, or Hellions are delayed, and I'm a little bit worried.
Well, while we're on the pause screen, I missed a couple bits because we were talking about the cool things that TLO was just doing, but it's a good thing we were talking positively about TLO because we got Whiff in chat. Whiff, what up, girl? 100 bits coming in with a heart. Now, I know that heart's for TLO, but I'm going to pretend for a second that it's for us. Thank you for the 100 bits. The Newt Gunray comes in with 600 bits. Hey, goes above and beyond. Thank you kindly for those bits, man. Also becomes the bit boss, slaying the previous king.
We are... Oh, no, that was me. Oh.
Yeah, you're dead, Wardy. Sit down.
Wow. This was my one chance. It's gone, so...
Game resumed.
The moment you own it, gonna never let it go. Oh.
I didn't let it go. It just got taken away from me. I got hammered by bits, man.
Yo, I was making jokes about the bully jar, swear jar, whatever. We should totally do that, you and me. Just like have about 1,000 bits on reserve for when we cast with one another. And if chat dictates it, we got to cheer in each other's chat. Like, and I don't mean like on base trade, like you cheer on Riff King or I cheer on Wardy. Like for if infractions occur.
Infractions? I like the side of this because I feel like I definitely come off better.
Maybe. I think it'd be fun either way. But at any rate, Soul may not have the Reaper earlier. He's got one now. Paired up with the Hellions, we'll poke a little bit. I think one of the things we didn't get to see, and this was caused an effect of a little bit of lag, but also Bly's aggressive play. And the game that things did go terribly wrong was a game Soul wanted to go mech on, but didn't really get a chance to. And every other game fell apart before that could even be a thing. So maybe Soul's mech mid-game or mech late-game is actually phenomenal. And if TLO lets him get there, well, then Soul will finally get to show his true strength. But easier said than done.
Yeah, we'll see what he gets up to. I mean, it's that sort of point where he's going to make that decision of throwing down the double armory, and he's got so much gas that you have to imagine it's probably going to be the armory he's going to be throwing down. See that mech play coming through. It's kind of just how he's been playing a bit of the TVZ lately, so setting on up, and meanwhile TLO gets some roaches, and there is double armory. Oh, this time Rifkin, it's once again the wall. Uh-oh.
Okay, so this wasn't like a one-game desperate thing. This is a stylistic choice. I am not super keen on this stylistic choice, but TLO, he's not in a position to punish it like Bly was.
You quite often see like engineering base on the wall and stuff to like just get the wall off up in time so you can actually move out with your...
Oh, good catch.
Yeah, Banshee putting in work. This is what the Banshee needs to do, stop those roaches getting across and killing an armory. And it just means that Soul is a little bit stabilized compared to, again, compared to that game of Soul against Bly, because it did open up very similarly, and it's looking very similar from there on out, but Soul will get a chance to actually play his mech style now.
This is big, though. TLO knows that. It's not even a question of, like, maybe anymore, because his Overlord is sitting above all the production uncontested. This, by the way, might prompt a Spire. I would love to see that, but we'll talk about that in a second. In the meantime, he's trying to deal with the Hellions and minimize losses. Only 4 drones going down is actually pretty good for TLO. Ooh,
yeah, he's able to put down a whole bunch of these Hellions. I mean, there's only 2 left over, so this is really nicely done. It's going to be through the roaches. Going to clean up. Hellions go down. So yeah, Hydros then.
We've seen some very disgusting quick ends to a Terran life, because when you go mech, even if you did the double Thor drops, you're still missing anti-air as a big core component. And we've seen players go mutas and win games off of that. But when you go Hydra Den, you're likely starting to think about earlier Hive tech. I'm not sure if the second Hydra Den's a mistake or if he's just looking for the sickest timing with speed and groove spines. Seems unnecessary though. I think this was meant to be an infestation pit, because you usually want a faster Hive with this.
He keeps selecting it though.
You know what though? It's you know what it is? Yeah, it's TLO of course. So this is gonna be like a creative build.
Oh, he's got it selected. No.
Yeah. Okay. So this is actually for double upgrades. This is for a timing attack for TLO. This is interesting because I can't say I've ever seen another player try and execute this, but I can say that about a lot of TLO's builds, but also a lot of TLO builds that don't work.
Does it line up? Was the Hydra down time? Like the muscle elements are going to be so much behind, so. He's only speeding the attack, the almost opens up by like 40 seconds or so. But it costs him an entire Hydros then.
Yeah, I really don't think this is worth it, to be honest with you, and I think there's a reason you don't see people do this. But maybe the timing is precise. Maybe this is super duper sick. I don't know. Like, I've literally never seen this before.
Well, there's a couple of floors clean up this Overlord. We are going to be seeing them just pushed away because the first few roaches and Hydros are coming in, and TLO all out aggressive.
He probably can't fight those Thors too easily, but what he can do is shoot those medevacs down. If he catches those in mid-air, that's going to be awesome for him. And of course, with the groove spines finishing up and now muscular augments, he should be able to more easily maneuver around to catch those. If nothing else, it keeps Soul at home. One of the worst things to deal with on the other side of the map is, of course, having Thors dropping in your main base.
Yeah, it's nice that they're at home. TLO really made a lot to make this happen. He is actually going to get into this base without anything being in position because it's all up the ramp. A couple of throws of bars just to zone it out for now. The SCV is not under attack either. This is kind of a weird spot for both.
It was really risky for TLO, but he's not being punished for his positioning here. In fact, the wall would have kept him in. Tanks could have set up. Thors could have pushed into this, right? But instead, TLO's allowed to escape, which is, by the way, great for TLO, as he denied a lot of mining. He hits the top base over here, so shut it down. Cancels.
So close to finishing.
Ooh. Even if it did finish, that was Hydras. That wasn't even just Lings. Like, that still might have died floating. But TLO has killed so many supply depots. Soul is beyond supply block, especially with that command center getting canceled. Hashtag good guy TLO, though. He's like, let me help you out, dude. I'll kill your units so you can start building new ones. That way you don't feel so bad about being supply blocked.
Yeah, there's attack at the top side doing quite a bit as well. Just starting to come on through. And I mean, TLO just keeping Soul down. I mean, Soul doesn't even have a supply depot being built at the moment, by the way. So even now that TLO backs away, he still can't build anything.
So here's the thing, right? Like, people in chat say I'm taking digs at TLO. I'm really not. This was just such a strange, very unique thing I've never seen before. It was the biggest question. Is a second Hydros then too much of a waste of money? Luckily, I think that didn't matter. Like, whether he had done it or not, Soul was making some kind of poor decisions on splitting, on pulling his SCVs, on not responding. Like, he let TLO get away with a lot that I think weren't affected by the upgrades. So while I want to be on the hype train and be like, yes, TLO he's made the double Hydra Den the new meta, I don't think that's the case. Soul's slipping up here.
Yeah, Soul's, well, Soul actually sees those drop loads. That's going to be really nice because at least he gets some information. So that's something he can work with now. As he sees a scan, just trying to kind of pick apart kind of the idea of where the Zerg army's positioned. He finds himself a couple of queens, but transfusions are there and they keep themselves alive. TLO's just setting up with a big kind of surround once again, going to try and run into this. Or I guess at the very least, just keeping his opponent off of a 4th base would probably be good enough because he's going to a 5th and 6th at the same time. TLO doesn't necessarily need to attack in again until he gets high tech up Vipers on the way so you can take more efficient trades.
TLO's positioning, I mean, I'm looking at the resources lost and it's dead even, but it's not the case for this game. I mean, we've been focusing a lot on the front lines, but if you guys have been paying attention to the minimap, TLO is not only double expanding, he's got creep everywhere. A small move that he made that we didn't really note was he was actually dropping creep so he could advance tumors beyond his creep spread. Like, he is in such a sick spot now, coming up with Hive, no contest to that, 5 Vipers on the way. I mean, again, I don't...
Map so you can charge up.
TLO is playing this so well. Like, forget, I know he's just harping on Soul for making mistakes, but TLO is actually nailing it in every aspect on the back end of it.
Yeah, he's not really, he's seen everything you need to do, and I love this, like, little drop in towards the main base. Just a little bit more pressure that he can apply, just something else he can kind of bring to this attack. It just distracts Soul, it pulls him away, maybe it deals some actual damage. Either way, it just makes TLO's follow-up even more powerful, most likely, because it's at the very least going to kill some SCVs now. And then it's also going to force minions to pull back too. So I just drop down, and TLO starts to get even more done here in the main.
This army is so low commitment, and oh my god, he's getting a depot that had supply dropped on it.
Oh,
the fact that TLO knew to target fire that, yikes! It's another depot here, big target to pick off. Meanwhile, in the middle of the map, it gets pressed for an attack, but that's okay. He actually straight up kills the Evo chambers by over-consuming them. That's fine though. The whole point of them being here was for energy.
How much runs that killed me. Oh man, well, TLO, now he's got the Vipers, they're full of energy as you just mentioned. That means he can just start to have dust, he can start to throw down blinding clouds.
That was the weakest abduct I've ever seen.
That's a little bit of a hopeless abduct on that real time. That was, again, also very, like, the Vipers are just very close when they're abducting. It's like they're not going very far.
I really like the hungry hippos approach to this. Grabbing the tanks, catching a mid-transform. He just stacked tanks on top of each other. Never seen that before. But despite the blinding clouds, TLO's gonna have to back away from this. Overcommitting Kakassim, his lead, Kakassim, his army, of course. I mean, Soul is definitely a little bit vulnerable, but he's not ripe for the picking, you know? TLO can't just move into this and win. He still has to play very careful around this army. Once he does finally break this, though, it's going to be broken. You guys may have noticed +1 melee started behind this. You gotta be wondering why melee. There's no melee units. It's for the Broodlords that are inevitably coming. And TLO's getting there now. With Corruptors on the way and a Greater Spire halfway done, Broodlords are going to be a real problem here for Soul.
Having the, 15 spine crawlers are building, I guess TLO realizes it's just like that survive right now, but maybe he's in a bit of a weak spot. I mean, his army across the map kills a base, but the entire army of Soul is over here, and TLO's got a little while until his Greater Spire still finishes up, plus Broodlord Morph time. Soul might be able to get quite a bit done here, coming up in towards the natural. It would be amazing if he could somehow find the Greater Spire and shut that down before he was ready.
Baneliness gets picked up. That's kind of annoying. Hardly the end of the world, though, because TLO wasn't relying on Banelings. I think that even if he gives up these bases, because he took all these extra ones, it's kind of fine to lose, as long as he doesn't lose his, like, actual tech in the main. But this is getting harder and harder for him to deal with, because the further Soul pushes in, the more difficult it'll be for TLO to break his own ramps. So catching some of the reinforcements in the middle of the map is probably the better option for the time being. Corsair can go on the tanks, shut those down as well. Not bad.
I mean, so TLO's taking down reinforcements, but he still has to deal with that main army. But now the 10 Broodlords show up, so he has the answer that I was a little bit afraid he wasn't going to get. And building these few spines will just buy him a few more moments here and there. And obviously all he needs is these Broodlords to show up. The few Vikings just won't get rid of the Broodlords in time. That's the issue.
He's also lost quite a few Vikings. Like, he's down to 4.
Yeah, there's only, I mean, it's just not enough at all. I mean, you see the Broodlords dropping in. Once the tanks are gone, obviously the Hydras come in and actually fight the Vikings, who are currently just sat there doing absolutely nothing. And now that they do come forwards, I mean, yeah, they just get killed off. So Soul Loses his army, killed some bases, but
three hatcheries went down. That's not nothing. But I don't know that there's any chance to stop this, man. The attack on the other side of the field. It's worth noting, Overlords were just dropping creep in the main this whole time because that's the freedom TLO's been given this game. Even when backed in a corner, he wasn't really backed in a corner.
Yeah.
But old Jimmy coming in for that 20-month hype. Thank you for that resub. BTSL hype. Yes. Also, man, I don't know if this is a troll from Delano in chat or not, but this has been addressed like 100 times over years. He says, I hope the BTSL venue isn't too big and they can fill the audience. At the last live tournament, it was half empty. So first correction, at the first live event, it may have looked half empty because the last live event we did was at Corsair and that shit was bumping. Secondly, we've learned our mistake actually, and you'll notice ever since our very first tournament, we don't host our finals on Sundays anymore. The reason the venue looked terribly empty was because the tournament went 3 hours over schedule and people literally had to leave for their flights. But for the Friday and the Saturday we had prior, man, the pizza party and like everything, that venue was full. Like we actually had to close admittance on day 2. Day 3 was empty because people had to leave. So I don't know if it's like a meme or a troll, but like, let's be clear guys, we've never had like a failure of an event to date. Unfortunately, Soul had a failure here at the end of this game. TLO!
There's just no answer to those brutals at all. There's nothing that was going to happen that was going to clean those up, so GG's.
This game may have like died now, but like really Soul lost 10 minutes ago, I feel.
Yeah, I mean, the attack before the Broodlords was actually kind of scary. It was kind of terrifying, but even then, TLO had it under control. Like, he made the moves, he had the few spine crawlers coming up, just the bits and pieces that were required to make sure he could pull it out, he could win the game. And yeah, I mean, he just played it out correctly from the position he was in. What more can you ask for?
Yeah. Well, the next lobby's going up, and to segue off that conversation of the venue size was not just to address a comment in chat, but to actually discuss about this venue. So it's a Net 8. It's the Net 8 gaming arena. Now, full capacity. Like if we're pushing fire limits, this venue can hold up to 130 people. Realistically, we're limiting it down to closer to 64, with leaving a couple of options. I don't think we're going to get 64 players because BC is not the esports capital of Canada. But I think if we get, what I'm aiming for, and I think would be the perfect size, is if we have minimum, right? Obviously more is better, but I'm aiming for minimum 16 players to sign up for day 1 for the open bracket. That ties in with the 4 players who'll show up on day 2 from the invited online qualifiers. And if we can get I think like a 30-person audience would be about perfect, because the viewing area, despite the fact that this is a LAN center, the focus is on the fact that it's games, the computers, and their viewing area is kind of small. So we're treating this a lot more like an exclusive event. And we'll see how it goes. It's our first time downsizing in this way, but I think it should make for a cooler experience for those who do show up. It's a test. It's a test. It's the first time we're not trying to fill the rims and the rafters. But more on this in a moment. Let's hop in a Neon by the Square. We'll see you guys in game. And I guess we'll do a little bit of a shout out for the tickets as well as the venue, because many of you may not know about that. But let's get these intros done first. Locking down a very sweet game number 1, fighting for his life in the elimination series and looking good doing it. We got the Red Zerg TLO.
And he's up against the blue template at the bottom right hand side. So
yeah, I'm going to post a link here in Twitch chat, but if you guys are watching off of our YouTube VODs or something, you can check out the BaseTradeTV Twitter. It is the pinned tweet on the Twitter, but it's got information on buying tickets, so you can do spectator pass if you just want to come chill, hang out, watch, and meet people. There's a competitor pass if you want to play. I'm actually be putting a big post later today detailing the prize pool breakdown, because I have reworked it a little bit from what it originally was, especially since we've been given a couple of extra bucks through our fundraiser since then. But the point is, it's got the venue location, it's got the dates, it's got nearby hotels. If you don't happen to live in the area, but you're actually going to travel out for it, I mean, we already know Hero and Impact should be coming from Korea, and of course we'll find out which 2 Europeans are flying in. So it'll be a cool chance to meet some of your players that you might not get to see living here in British Columbia. But on top of that, I'm hoping we'll see a lot of players fly in too. We're going to be hosting at least one North American qualifier as well. So like I said, if we get about 16 people for the open bracket, I think that'd be the sweet spot to hit. But like I said, more is better. Regardless, we'll see how things go. At the moment, I think we've already sold 14 tickets, which is cool. So get them while you can. As I mentioned, we're treating this as more of an exclusive event, not a big, like, fill the rims and the rafters. So while there's a 130 people limit, we're not likely going to be allowing in more than 64 people total. So this isn't like, oh my god, hurry up and go buy your tickets, but just be aware, if you're humming and hawing about tickets, sooner is better than later.
Hell yeah. Don't want you guys to miss out meeting legends such as me.
Oh yeah, of course, Wardy, Maynard, Zombier will all be flying in to join me for the finals. But as much as I do love us, I'm actually super stoked to see Hero. I have never gotten to properly meet Hero. I've been in the same room as Hero. I've never gotten to like actually meet Hero though, so I think that'd be pretty cool.
Hero's cool. It's fun. He's a fun guy. I remember I took a photo of Hero, and it's like he made me pull a funny face. Like he wouldn't let me take a normal photo. We had to pull funny faces, you know.
Wardy, I hate to inform you, but I think your regular face is a funny face.
Bully jaw.
Twitch.tv/Wardy. No, it starts next cast, not this cast, next cast. Okay. Also, I don't know how the amateur tournament's going, but I hope it's going well. It's been going on for about 35 minutes now.
I'll check out how the amateur tournament's going.
Cool. And as well, if you guys are just tuning into the cast, this is the elimination match of the tournament. We have a best of 3 winners match, a best of 3 finals, and a best of 3 platinum and below grand finals, all still coming up. So you haven't missed much. We got about half the broadcast still to go. Oh, this is super annoying. So Soul has decisively and decidedly chosen to, like, I don't know, send the Reaper across the map. Last game, obviously, he wasn't home protecting things, caused a lot of trouble with SCVs. TLO gets a lot done with Lings that he really shouldn't, and that was a pretty nice scout in the main.
Okay. The amateur tournament is going fine, Rifkin. We have 3 players in the semi-finals and 1 quarterfinal still playing. It's just sorry. I'm really good at turning the topic away to what you talked about like 30 seconds ago.
Yeah, well, it's about... With stream delay, that sounds about par for the course. But alright, we do have an attack from Soul heading southbound, and these Hellions are not going to find a lot to kill. Oh, I say that, but the drones transfer in! Seems like TLO wanted to give him a gift. It's making up for game number 1.
Well, at the same time, there's Lings across the map killing some SCVs. The natural of Soul has to be evacuated. So while he kills 8 drones, he loses 6 SCVs, and he isn't mining on the natural for a while as well. So TLO kind of comes out okay on this.
Yeah, 8 for almost 8? No way, no way. Getting the mule counts as 8, so that's like 8 for 8 on the worker kill count, and that's really nice, because Soul, I think, trades out worse for that. Coming in with 32 SCVs at the end, and TLO, of course, on 41. But at the same time, I'm like wincing, because TLO really, that was a timing, that was a unfortunate timing. I don't think he needed to lose even half those drones. Walking right to the Hellions.
Yeah, I mean, he could have just pulled them back if he'd seen the Hellions in time, but I guess he was kind of focused on the counter-attack in. Banshee shows up and gets a couple of drones, but Spore Crawlers are around, so it's not the biggest of issues. Extra Hellions going to hit the third base. This is where TLO really is going to be tested, making sure he can continue to hold on.
But every time Soul moves across the map with Hellions, TLO gets a couple Lings by, and looks like Repair is going to keep this from going too poorly. But even more SCVs go down, something Soul can't really afford. Also, yo, Lieutenant Loner, or I think that's LT Loner. Thank you for the 300 bits, and thank you more importantly for using your custom cheer modes. Taking a whack here at the Bit Boss. Whack. A whack. Whack. Alright, Lings are being dealt with. I mean, it's Hellions at this point. TLO is not going to get a lot more done with these Lings unless he catches them completely out of base. Also, he hasn't gotten back to the main, and still hasn't shown us what this is going to be yet. And in fact, it's going to be Bio.
Yeah, going to be throwing down that stim pack, so he does change it up here for game number 2 from the mech play, which obviously didn't work for him before. Hellbat started morph in. TLO doesn't have the roach robin yet. When he does have those roaches, he's going to have a lot of them very quickly. Man, the no medevac support for these Hellbats means they actually drop so quickly with those 5 queens here. And those queens barely look as though this was even an issue. Hellbats get completely shut down.
Ooh,
Ooh.
This is a nice way to make use of extra queens. I like this a lot.
I think this is actually maybe a game-winning move for TLO, because as he gets roaches up here, I feel like he should be getting roaches up. I feel like there's nothing for Soul because he's transitioned into Bio. He's making 1 Marine at a time, and he's throwing away all of his Hellions.
It's a really good thing this is going well for TLO. He's going to need some extra prize money to pay for the keyboard that he's currently setting on fire with 1200 APM. God, I love that the hotkeys bug that out, but this is...
Wouldn't that be insane? TLO needs a new keyboard every week.
Dude, that's just how sick he is. But, alright, the queens aren't moving towards the Nidus. He's not rushing to get this out, but he's got such a big abundance. 7 queens, and roaches coming out. Where does he put this? And it looks like he's heading directly to the main. Oh, supply block, though. This is such a devastating 62. Remember this number for the rest of your life, Soul, and never let this happen again.
Soul's making a 4th CC because he's just so... He just feels as though he just has the money and he's just so supply blocked. That's how long he's been supply blocked here. Oh, man. I mean, as queens start to pop out, the Banshee isn't even in sight. And as the Roach is pouring out as well, there's just nothing to hear. I mean, he starts up Liberators. What on earth are they going to do against, like, 6, 7 queens?
I know, and the Ravagers just morphing into are going to seal the deal. Can he stop Stim? If he stops Stim, that's like rage quit worthy GG timing. Stim's so close to finishing. He's not targeting it, so okay, it's not going to be an issue.
But I mean, at the same time, doesn't need to target Stim, right? Like, he just killed the Banshees, just killed every single unit.
GG.
Soul is eliminated in last place.
Yeah, rip the...
At all.
Rip the Terran Dream. But this is really good for TLO fans because this means he still has a fighting chance to finish 2nd place in the group. Also, thank you Monster14 for that 5-month resub. Hearts right back at you, dude. But all right, this is really good for TLO, and we'll see if he can survive through to the end of the group. But we have the winners match to hop into next, which will of course be DNS versus Bly. Not the matchup I was expecting, if we're going to be perfectly honest, but I'm not upset with it either.
Hard to expect him, and Bly came in last minute, man. It should be pretty good, though, because actually Bly's been playing pretty well lately, and it hasn't all been short games. He's been playing some pretty long PvZs, too, so let's see how this goes. Do you want me to coin flip? Heads or tails?
You know, you handle the coin flips in the videos. I got to do social media stuff. We got to go to commercials. So we'll be back here in a little bit, guys. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. I hope you're enjoying the show so far. As said, there's still 3 best of 3s left in the stream today. So we'll be back in a bit.